those of you in the crowd, you just couldn't get any closer. And what we're going to do for the next few minutes, one at a time, please. And maybe raise your hand, I'll call you one at a time, to ask a question about Bret, his career, anything, of course, involving wrestling and such. Just a very special situation here that you're all involved in, and we're glad you're a real part of this. Okay, for who has a question?
Let's go. Let's get questions.
The black t-shirt in the back.
How about some of you parents that got kids that are trying to get into wrestling or want to wrestle? Don't you guys got some questions? That's the perfect guy to ask right there. You guys got any questions? All right. Go ahead. Start it off, bro. What's your question?
Yeah, actually, the ownership asked if it's hard to solve. You wrestled in Japan. I want to get what some of your memories of It's Hard to Solve.
He was going to replace Tiger Mask.
Yes, that's what time it is.
He was a nice enough guy. Nice enough wrestler. I would work to the one guy. But the Japanese wrestlers were always really well taught, really technically probably the best wrestlers in the world in Japan. So he was, from my limited experience with one match I had, was a pretty good wrestler. It's just too bad that he killed the What's that? Wouldn't everybody rather I just sang?
Alright, who else has a question? Okay, number 12.
Bret, I got two, if I can ask it.
Hell yeah.
The first one is WrestleMania 2, the Battle Royal. You and Jim the Other Neidhart and ex-Oakland Raider were face-to-face with Andre the Giant, the last three guys in there. What was going through your mind? Because Jake the Snake Roberts said, that guy scared the hell out of him. Did he do it to you?
Who, Andre?
Andre the Giant, yeah.
No, Andre never scared me. I knew Andre since I was about 12 years old, so I mean, I knew Andre at a pretty intimate kind of level, so I knew him as the big friendly giant. I never was too worried about him.
The second question is, what's your favorite phrase? The one Gorilla Monsoon gave you, or the one you earned by being a singles wrestler? The excellence of execution, or the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be?
Yeah.
Well, there was kind of this. I always liked the Gorilla Monsoon one just because of the fact that Gorilla was not somebody to praise everybody. He didn't say those kind of things about everybody. And so I appreciate that he, noticed very early in my career that I had a way of executing the moves that was so crisp and sort of just perfectly done kind of thing. That I always know that Gorilla Monsoon appreciated that part of what I did.
And me and Gene knows it would be too.
Yeah, but Gene was no comparison to Gorilla.
Anybody else? Next question.
Of all the matches you've had in your career, which one was your personal favorite, like the most fun?
My personal favorite would probably always be Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
There was one guy that Kurt Hennig was the kind of guy that you could you'd wrestle for an hour and be exhausted when it was over, and then you'd see him in the bar later and you end up drinking a bunch of beer. You go back the next day, you're all hungover and you're looking at each other in the dressing room and you get ready to do it all again. And you just do. You just have a great ability to make it fun every night and just have the best. Always seem to be able to just give a great match every night. And to do it safe and to do it responsibly, and that's why I loved working with Kurt. Was no matter how tired it was or how long the trip was or how if I was injured or whatever, hungover, the truth is that every time I stepped in the ring with Kurt, it was the easiest match in the world. And that's what you want to do in wrestling.
Thank you. What about the back, Luke?
Actually, he had a question the first time around, but you kind of skipped it.
Go for it.
Okay, well, so you go ahead.
Okay. What are the pros and cons of when you were wrestling? What were they?
That's the best question I've been asked all night. I should hang your head. Pros and cons of wrestling. Well, the smartest thing to do about wrestling is to always remember that you're a fan deep down inside. You know, you always need to remove yourself from the actual wrestler sometimes and think about yourself sitting in the front row watching yourself. And you should never lose that ability to be a fan first. I mean, all the way through the year, all through my career, I was always, what was important to me was how the fans perceived me.
Yeah!
Most of the time when I would think about what I was doing in a match or sort of planning what I'm thinking about all the different ways you can approach a match, I would always approach it from a fan's perspective, what the fans wanted, what I would want. Same way you might want to see Spider-Man versus Batman if you like comics. Yeah. I mean, you just think about what you want, you know, like how would you want it if someone said, okay, well, you tell the story. What do you want Spider-Man doing? You know, and you just think about it, so I want him to do this with the web, and Batman comes in with his car, and you can do all kinds of stuff. But wrestling is a lot of that, it's the same way, you just, you know, you think about what the fans would expect, and you try to deliver that. And sort of keep the law. In wrestling, the key to being a great wrestler is to never let anyone be able to predict what you're going to do next. You know, there's some wrestlers that I really like today, like Rey Mysterio as an example, or even Marlena, the lady wrestler. When I watch them wrestle, they do stuff that's original. So they're being thrown in the ropes. You never know what they're going to do when they come off the ropes. And for too many years and too many wrestlers, you know, when they do a certain sequence of moves off the ropes, you sort of know what they're going to be, but you know what they're when you know a wrestler's going to move when he hits the turnbuckle or whatever it is, when you as a fan know what's going to happen next, the guys you're watching are not very good. You're watching guys that have no imagination. A really good wrestler is able to constantly change what you think is going to happen and do something different. And that's the mark of a great wrestler.
Watching your younger generation family now on WWE, has that maybe got you to think about possibly coming back for maybe a couple of matches in there to go against something you haven't gone against in years?
Oh yeah.
Any other old timers?
No, I don't miss it too much. I don't really, you know, when I left wrestling, I don't know there was a whole lot left for me to do. So, I mean, if there was something, the idea of just going back to get slammed a few more times doesn't really appeal to me so much. But if there was something that, you know, I'm limited to what I can do because of my concussion injury years ago, on top of the stroke that I suffered. So I'm not really in a position to do a whole lot physically, but you know, it's nice to think about it.